Welcome to our very first installment of Good Day CQ with our very special guest,
Carmen. Hi, thanks, Sophie. Good day, CQ. So I'm Carmen Romano. So some of you know me already. I'm the solutions architect along with Chris, and I have been here for around 8 months. I work on the tech team, help solve some issues, help solve some support requests, and I also work on the kind of working with the clients, just creating solutions for them, both internally and externally. So it's a great role. Thanks, Sophie.
You're very welcome. And as you say, my name is Sophie. I am one of the marketing associates here at CQ. I started just over a year ago. So, I'm working alongside my team, a lot of the creative content. It's a very fun job to be in. I get to run fun exercises like this. And also, I guess the objective of this is to help everyone kind of learn a bit more about who your CQ team members are, what they're doing, and maybe give you some insight into how you could even get involved with their work. So to start, we're going to ask you where you are in the world and what are you drinking? What's in your cup?
Well, right now I'm in a place called Cabo Pulmo. That's in Mexico. Mexico is my native country, and I'm a scuba diver. And Cabo Pulmo, the place you see behind me, is one of the best places I've ever scuba dived in. So I really love going there. I've been going there for quite some time now, and that's where I am right now. And in my cup, I have a cup of tea right now. It's been a pretty hectic day, so I'm using it to relax. It would usually be coffee, but right now I decided to go for tea.
I'm right there with you. I also have a cup of tea. I'm actually from Ireland, so it is a very kind of strong cultural feature is that a lot of us drink a lot of tea. I know a lot of the belief is that in Britain they drink a lot of tea. I think we drink more. So I'm on my second cup of the day, and I am coming to you from Quebec City in not Montreal, but
Nice.
Quebec in Canada. The reason I chose this is because I actually did a semester abroad when I was in university. And I found it so beautiful. It was like a little slice of Europe within Canada. And I would love to be there right now if we were not in a pandemic. So, very fun, very interesting. So, what I'm going to ask you next is name 3 things that you could not live without while working from home.
Well, I've realized that the first thing I can't live without has been coffee. So since I wake up, I just have a cup of coffee and then go to work, then just grab another cup of coffee, maybe like in the middle of the day, and do something else. And then even like in the evening, I'm already immune to coffee. I can sleep perfectly, even if I drink a cup of coffee like at night. Another thing I can't live without right now, it's my notebook. It's like a short notebook. I I have a lot of calls almost every day, and a lot of those calls are just discovery calls or making sure we're working on a solution. So keeping notes of everything is really important. And I find it a little bit difficult to just type everything while we're having a call. It's a little bit distracting. And it sounds kind of counterintuitive for a tech team member to be using just like handwritten notes, but I find them very useful and a great way to just organize your ideas. And then I can go back to them and just add them to my actual plans and tasks and share them with a team. But it's a tool that I find super useful. And the other thing I can't live without is my dog. I think you heard him barking somewhere like in this video. He's always with me, so he keeps me company, and it's very nice to just. I felt like, especially working from home, sometimes you don't get to see a lot of people, and having the dog here is been really fun and really helpful.
He's basically like one of your coworkers.
Yeah, he's my furry coworker for sure.
I think that's one of the best things is when we're in a meeting and you see someone's animals in the background, just reminds us that we're all still human. Okay, so talking about your work, walk me through a typical day in your role at CQ. So whether that be, if you were in the office or working from home, what is a typical day?
Well, a typical day, as I say, usually starts with coffee. That's kind of a constant state of my work. So that's the only thing I think I can plan every day. Because in the tech team, I can speak for everyone in my team, it's every day is a very interesting day. So even if we have something planned out and we have our calendars already scheduled, something always comes up. There's always something interesting that's going on somewhere, either at CQ or outside, that we have to take care of. So it's very difficult to plan. But if I had to say a couple of things that I always do during my day, it's just go to support, make sure everything is going well for everyone at CQ. Just try to help with some urgent tickets, projects that are stuck for some reason, or just like some tools that have decided not to work that day, just to try to troubleshoot those. And that's the first thing I usually do, because I don't want to leave anyone hanging just with an issue that could be solved fast. And then I almost always have a couple of calls. They can be internally with CQ, just to make something more efficient, or just a consultation on a specific tool, or also with clients. So a lot of the client calls I'm in right now are discovery calls, just making sure that we are able to provide what they need, and that we understand what their problems are, what their translation goals are, and we can see if we can kind of integrate with us. And a lot of them are also just follow-up calls with the same clients, and just making sure everything is working, that they're having everything is smooth on our end and their end. And that's usually it. And a very interesting part of my day, and it's for the whole tech team, we have a daily stand-up, and that happens toward the end of the day every day, where everyone in the tech team just gets together and talks a little bit of what they did during the day. And I found this to be very, very useful, because it lets us understand what everyone is working on, and it lets us see the issues that are happening, or the successes that the team is having. And sometimes we can cross-check those with what's going on in our end, and solve our own issues. And a lot of the times I've seen these issues and problems being solved during this daily stand-up, just because someone had a similar experience, or they're more of an expert in what we're working on. So it's a really great way to touch base and just get to understand what everyone is going through.
I guess that's really helpful too, like when everyone's working from home. I know during my time at the office, it was always great to kind of be able to be with your team members, maybe talk about what you did over the weekend, and then just kind of powwow about what you're going to do for the day. That's something that I really miss about working at the office. So I think that might be something that we could all carry into our departments, that regular
Yeah,
daily check-in to kind of get a high-level overview of what everyone's working on. That's really fun.
exactly. Yeah,
And
it
people
is.
get
It
to
is.
connect with each other and problem solve. That's the spirit of CQ, I think.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
and then in talking about like your work in the department as a member of the tech team, there's a lot of innovation going on there, a lot of opportunity, especially in this space. So can you kind of tell me what your vision is for the department? Where do you see it going? In terms of the industry trends, or just within CQ itself, like where do you see the tech team advancing?
Sure. Well, I something I really like about my team is that I consider us to be very flexible. So there's really not an issue or a challenge that we can tackle, or at least that we don't really try very hard to tackle. So it's a very important part of the team and the team culture to be able to kind of accommodate for different needs, accommodate for different problems, and just rely on each other for things that we know we're not as strong, like very strong in, and just relying on someone else to help us. But I do see the team, even though right now we're all working on a lot of different stuff all at the same time, I do see the team probably getting some sub departments within the team with more specialized people, like someone who is gonna be in charge of a specific area, and another person who's gonna be in charge of another area. Like I'm thinking of MT integrations, just the tools, engineering. So I think we would be, as we grow, we would be kind of separating into these sub departments, and just leveraging everyone's expertise in these specific areas to be more efficient. But I don't think that will mean that we're going to stop kind of relying on each other. I think we would that will only make better the communication between each other, and like the cross cross collaboration between every team. So that's something that I see happening within the team. And in the industry, I feel that within CQ, at least everything is gonna be starting to get more automated, more streamlined. So that's somewhere where the tech team is gonna be very strong at and very important in, and we are striving for that at the moment, and we think that's what the future is going to look like. We're going to be troubleshooting more like automation and streamlining issues rather than creating them. Right now we're at a building stage, and later on we're going to be just managing that and in a more steady state. So that's how I envision the tech team.
Interesting, because you say kind of you guys are constantly developing new innovations, and the automation is a really interesting point, because I know for team marketing, we're creating a lot of content that gears towards automation and kind of showcasing our automation capabilities. And something that we find ourselves doing a lot is reaching out to you guys for kind of help with copy and kind of reviewing it, making sure that we're doing your team justice. And I guess in that kind of same vein, is there anything that there is, someone else in the company within CQ who could be helping, or who you think has some kind of insight that would really make your job easier, or even like introduce new concepts, the way that it's so interconnected, right? Sales and marketing, we're always bouncing ideas off each other, implementing each other's ideas, tracking progress. Is there anything like that that you think that doesn't already exist that you guys could be implementing?
Sure. Well, I'm thinking in terms of people or teams that could make our job easier. Uh, and especially talking about these automation initiatives, we're of course trying to automate and streamline every process, like no matter what department it comes from. It could be sales, it could be marketing, it could be production. But we're especially focused in production just because there's so much going on there. And we've been partnering a lot with them. And I think already this is happening already. They could and they are making a lot of the time our lives easier by being open to these new ideas, by being open to just testing and breaking things and trying to understand where we're coming from. We're not just trying to automate things just to make them automated and that's it. There's a reason behind that. There's a reason behind that because we're adding more value to CQ and to the clients and to every person's job, because they would be able to have more time focusing on more kind of value adding activities. So that's what we're trying to do. And we've seen this a lot. There's a lot of people in production who are advocates for this, who are trying to really get their hands on this and are willing to test this and are willing to just work through the challenges that this is causing, because it's working great and we've been doing great. But of course, with every new initiative, with every innovation, there's always a challenge that is going to arise. So a lot of these people have been open, and we've seen this happening a lot. And this makes our jobs way easier. And I really want to thank everyone who's been an advocate for this, because this makes our jobs way easier. And also, I think this applies to other departments as well. When we give them a suggestion to automate, to just streamline a process, if they actually get their hands dirty and try to do that and are willing to just break stuff and test it, it makes our life easier, because at least we know how it's going to work and if it's going to work for them. So that's great. So just being open to new ideas, anyone in CQ could help us do our job a little bit better. Yeah.
Is there anything that you would need from team marketing, or, can we give back to you in the same way that you guys have been helping us with developing our kind of content?
I really like what I really like about team marketing is that you always, as you mentioned, you always kind of keep us in the loop of what's going on and see if we have any ideas for you. Sometimes we don't, and sometimes I think you're just doing the right thing and there's no better way to do it. But if we do, we're getting involved. So that's also a very important step for us, especially in this automation initiative. If you see any inefficiency in your process that you think even if you don't know how, but you think like it's taking a lot of time and it's very manual and time consuming, just mentioning that and bringing that up helps us a lot, because we understand where our pain points are and what we need to solve for. So yeah, I really like about team marketing that every time you're kind of embarking on a project, you keep us in the loop, so we can see if there's anything we can do to make it better.
We wouldn't be able to function without one another. So that's essentially all the questions that I have. I don't know if you have any questions for me, if there's anything else you'd like to share with our audience before we close out.
Well, yeah, I do want to share that this is a great initiative, Good Day CQ. I started working at CQ when the pandemic had already struck, and I've been remote since then. So I really know everyone remotely only, and it's been great to kind of be able to connect, even though we're not in the office, you know. So I feel I know a lot of people already, and I feel I've created good relationships within CQ already, even if I don't know you guys personally. So I think this initiative, Good Day CQ, is going to bring us a little bit closer together, especially while we work remotely, and that's great. So thanks,
Completely
Sophie.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even great, it's just to see what everyone's up to because the huge difference is when you're in the office, you can just pop over. I could just pop over to production and see what they're working on, call Dan over if there's like something that we need help with, like our monitors are malfunctioning. But there is like a disconnect that we're constantly trying to bridge. So hopefully this has been a great experience for you and that it kind of keeps on going because we would love to keep learning about everyone's, different roles and how integral they are to CQ. So this has been amazing, Carmen. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, and we hope
This
you all
has
have
been
a great
great.
day.
Yeah. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Sophie.
You're very welcome and enjoy the rest of your tea.
You too. Thanks.